Like and subscribe might be a simple click for you, but it will lead to a transformational change of our channel. Support us to achieve 5 million subscribers by year 2028. For your convenience, we have added 35 languages in subtitles. Go to Settings, click Subtitles and select desired language. The movie starts in North Korea. A woman is being tortured by North Korean soldiers who think she is a spy. She keeps saying she is not a spy. Eventually, she is released in exchange for another prisoner. It turns out she is supposed to die as part of her job, but her husband wants to save her no matter what. Because of this, her boss decides to rescue her from being executed by the North Korean government. Years later in Washington, D.C., the woman, Evelyn Salt, and her husband, Mike Krause, an arachnologist, are celebrating their anniversary. Evelyn is watching a video on how to fold table napkins when her boss, Ted Winter, arrives. Evelyn and Ted both work for the CIA and have a good friendship, even though Ted is her boss. They were about to leave work when a CIA officer informed them that a Russian defector had turned himself in, claiming to be the best in his field. Evelyn was given the task of interrogating him. On the way to the interrogation room, they met Peabody, a counterintelligence officer. After making sure everything was set up, Evelyn began the interrogation. The Russian introduced himself as Oleg Vasily Orlov and revealed a plan to destroy America. He then asked Evelyn's permission to share more details and began his story. The story is about a romance between a female chess grandmaster and a wrestler. They had a baby, but sadly, she passed away without knowing their baby was swapped with another child and kidnapped. They ended up burying a child that wasn't theirs. The kidnapped child grew up to be a highly trained Russian spy. Finally, he revealed that a Russian spy would assassinate President Boris Matveyev of Russia during the funeral of the Vice President of the United States. Satisfied with the information she received and with time running out to prepare for her anniversary, Evelyn had to act quickly. Evelyn decides to leave when Orlov suddenly says something that shocks everyone. Oleg claims that Evelyn Salt is the Russian spy. Worried, Evelyn tries to contact her husband, fearing he is in danger after Oleg's accusations. Ted still trusts Evelyn and believes she is not a Russian spy, but Peabody is suspicious. Following protocol, they place Evelyn in a secure location to question her. Meanwhile, Oleg, being escorted away, kills his 2 guards in the elevator and escapes. This alerts everyone back to Evelyn. Still worried about her husband, she decides to escape. Ted tries to talk her out of it, urging her to cooperate, but her main priority is her husband's safety. She asks Ted if he has contacted her husband. Not getting the answer she wants, she continues her escape. Evelyn outsmarts the tactical team sent to catch her and makes it home. Unfortunately, she finds no one there except their dog. Seeing a chair knocked over, she realizes that her husband has been kidnapped. Before leaving, Evelyn takes their dog and one of the spiders her husband is studying. She manages to escape Peabody again, leaving the dog with a neighbor before getting away. However, Ted spots her on the road and starts chasing her, with Peabody joining the pursuit. They finally corner her on a bridge. Just as she is about to surrender, she sees a truck approaching under the bridge. Refusing to give up, she jumps off the bridge and lands on the truck. Despite Ted, Peabody, and their team continuing the chase, Evelyn eventually manages to escape. Evelyn arrives in New York and checks into a hotel near the wake's venue. As she prepares for her plan, the day of the vice president's funeral arrives, with Russian President Matveyev in attendance. The entire area, including the surrounding block, is heavily guarded. Evelyn, meanwhile, makes her way through the subway, having printed a map of the routes the night before. She navigates past the security smoothly. While the Russian president is delivering his eulogy, rumblings are heard, and suddenly, the ground beneath him collapses. Evelyn, waiting at the bottom, shoots President Boris. Peabody and his men arrive at the crime scene. Evelyn already has him at point-blank range, but she doesn't shoot him. Instead, she surrenders. As they escort Evelyn out, Ted, waiting outside, is understandably furious and disappointed. He curses her, telling Peabody that he was right all along. However, Peabody notices something different in Evelyn's behavior. Then, we have a flashback of 2 kids named Natasha and Schneider talking to each other. It's revealed that Evelyn Salt is indeed Natasha Chenkov, kidnapped from her parents as a baby. She, along with other children, was trained to be a spy. Returning to the present, Evelyn is sitting in a police car when she tries to escape, causing a lot of damage. She manages to escape again and flees back to Russia. Meanwhile, President Boris's assassination sparks a conflict between the USA and Russia. Believing Evelyn Salt to be an American CIA officer who killed their former president, the new Russian president declares war against the United States of America. Evelyn is now back in Russia and is greeted by Oleg, who is revealed to be their leader and father figure. She asks Oleg if they have her husband, Mike. Oleg explains they need to ensure his identity since marriage wasn't part of the plan. He takes Evelyn to where they have Mike captive. With guns pointed at her, she watches in horror as her husband dies from drowning. Though she holds back her tears and shows no emotion, Oleg is now satisfied and welcomes her back as his daughter. They all celebrate, and the people who had just pointed their guns at her now call her sister. After a while, Evelyn and Oleg discuss the next part of the plan. Suddenly, Evelyn breaks the bottle of liquor she's holding and uses it to fatally stab Oleg repeatedly. She then arms herself and goes on a killing spree, eliminating every person in their base. She immediately leaves the place and heads to the location where Oleg instructed her to come, where she meets one of their comrades in a private plane. She's surprised to see Schneider, one of the children she trained with. After discussing the plan, they fly back to America to complete their mission, to assassinate the President of the United States. On the White House grounds, they patiently wait for the President. When he walks past them, Evelyn, disguised as a NATO liaison, asks Schneider about his role in the plan. With a smile, he pushes her to the ground and starts shooting, causing chaos. The President's security evacuates him to the bunker, the safest place in the White House. Angered, the President vows retaliation if the attack is confirmed as Russian-initiated. Shot multiple times by security, Schneider pulls out a grenade and sacrifices himself along with others as it explodes inside the elevator. Ted alerts everyone that he saw Evelyn Salt disguised as a soldier. Back to Evelyn, she seizes the opportunity to play her part. After shedding her disguise, she discreetly follows the security and Ted. They successfully escort the President to the control room inside the bunker. Despite tight security, Evelyn manages to sneak in unnoticed. As tensions escalate, evidence suggests that Russia is preparing to launch their nuclear weapons. Meanwhile, the President of the USA is also gearing up to retaliate, preparing to initiate an attack by arming the nuclear weapons. Both sides await the right moment to strike. When security officers spot Evelyn on camera just outside the control room, they set out to apprehend her. Ted volunteers to assist, but the officer refuses to give him a gun. Taking matters into his own hands, Ted grabs a gun and starts shooting everyone in the control room, including the President. When Evelyn arrives, she's in disbelief. It turns out Ted Winter is also a Russian spy, operating a year before Evelyn. His mission is to instigate a conflict that would result in the deaths of millions of Muslims, causing immense suffering to America. With control of the nuclear weapons using the deceased president's biometrics, Ted sets the bombing targets to 2 Muslim cities. Evelyn manages to persuade Ted to let her join him, and he's about to agree when a news flash reveals that President Boris of Russia is alive. Evelyn hadn't actually killed him, she had poisoned him using venom from her late husband Spider. In a tense confrontation, Evelyn realizes Ted's true intentions. He wants someone to take the blame for the president's death and the impending bombing. Ted mocks her, claiming he'll be hailed as a hero. Evelyn tries to shoot the glass between them, but it's bulletproof. Thinking quickly, she destroys the computerized lock mechanism to enter the control room. With little time left before the bombs launch, they fight, and despite Ted having the upper hand, Evelyn manages to stop the launch at the last second. As the authorities arrive, Ted maintains his facade of being the hero while Evelyn is arrested. Outside, Peabody receives a text message about Oleg and his men being found dead. As Evelyn passes him in handcuffs, she gives him a searching look, sparking Peabody's suspicions. As security takes Evelyn into custody and Ted receives medical treatment for his wounds, he plans to kill her at the top of the stairs. However, Evelyn anticipates his move and acts first, choking him with her handcuffs and hanging onto the balcony for as long as she can. Despite the authorities' swift response, Evelyn manages to choke Ted to death. Later, she's transported by helicopter where Peabody is waiting. She's to be transferred to FBI custody. During their conversation, Peabody receives another text message confirming his suspicions that Evelyn killed Oleg and the others. Though hesitant, after Evelyn shares everything, Peabody decides to trust Natasha Chenkov, also known as Evelyn Salt, in her mission to eliminate the entire Russian spy network. The movie concludes with Evelyn escaping the helicopter and jumping into a lake. She swims to shore and evades detection by the chopper. With news circulating of her death, she can now continue her mission uninterrupted.
Make sure to subscribe and hit the notification button so that you will not miss any of our video updates.